The sky's pretty. The sky's really pretty right now. Let me see if I can get the. My cause do that. All right. It was pretty freaking hot today. It was like 106. It's always usually like 5 degrees, 5 to 10 degrees cooler out here than it is in town. But oh my God, it was warm. Hot one today. So I want to start with this. For myself, I usually feel that the things I fear the most are the things that I need to do the most. Not the best wording, but and I'm not talking like skydiving or free solo rock climbing or things like that, but like things that maybe you have these urges or thoughts of feelings deep inside of, like, that could really change the course of my life, or that could have a really beneficial impact on me. But there's some fear around following through with it. A few for me is like one, like starting a business, beginning intensive therapy when I found out I became a dad, moving cross country was a big one when I was young. Certain relationships I've had. Some of the things like bigger, some smaller, but all playing a role and an impact in like the trajectory of my life. And I've been contemplating and thinking about a lot lately about relationships and how, and not just relationships, but relationships and heartbreak, and how they influence the course of our lives and all the things that we're meant to learn from them. And relationships tied with heartbreak. I was thinking about this afternoon, like, what was my first real, like, heartbreak? Something that kind of impacted me, probably subconsciously more too, like, and not knowing like what it did or how it did it, or but I think it was when I was like, I want to say it was like I was 14 or 15, and my parents had brought in this old family friend. He had come up from Mississippi to stay with us in Minnesota because he was mixed up in some gangs, and it was just, life was kind of going down to the tubes for him where he was from. And he was about 17 at the time. I think I was about 14, 15. And I remember, so he was living with us, and I looked up to him. He was like a older brother to me. And I remember one day him and my dad were doing something outside, and I went to go like participate, and there was something that happened. I don't quite remember, but it felt like my dad chose him over me. And I remember feeling like I just got punched in the gut, because like my dad and I had a super tight relationship up until like I became a teenager. Like I was the firstborn son, and I was the, firstborn. I was the oldest in the family, and my dad just like did everything with me. Um, I was kind of attached to his hip for quite a while. And yeah, that really, I think, impacted me. That was like my first sense of like feeling heartbroken that my dad was giving him more attention than me, or that it felt like he was choosing him over me, even though, I mean, he probably wasn't. And it's not like it was intentional, but yeah, I think that was like, I think we all can look back and think about how those first experiences of heartbreak affected us in our own unique way, and how it kind of shaped young uh, our young minds and our psyche, and some things that probably installed in our subconscious, and how that kind of was like the start of our introduction to what heartbreak is in the world, and the many different forms of it, and the many different ways it can happen. It's pretty astounding how many ways you can have your heart broken and also break somebody's heart. We all have our unique experiences with that. Some of us, some pretty extreme ones. I've been thinking a lot about heartbreak lately, and what it means, and how painful it can be. Just how, I mean, it just can knock you on your ass. And I mean, for some people, they go through their entire lives with a broken heart, never fully healing from it, suffering. It's just consuming their daily life. Some of us, it's years. Some of it's maybe months. There's such a grieving process with moving through it. And, you know, depending on what kind of heartbreak you're experiencing, I mean, just in the subject of like, say like rejection, being rejected, or feeling betrayed, and, you know, tie that with not even really seeing it coming, and just how intense that can feel, especially if you're a pretty open-hearted person, where you may be a little bit naive, and you just get kind of blindsided by it and don't really see it coming, you know? I think I'm definitely one of those people. I can think of some past relationships where I was like really, really into this girl, and was really hoping it was gonna like turn into something long term, and she decides she's not into me. It would devastate me, and like devastate me to the point to where it wasn't healthy. Like, I would maybe just wallow in my misery, and I'd almost want it to hurt more and more and more. Like, I would want it to get more intense. Like, I would just be like, bring it on kind of thing. Like, just not a very good mental space to get through it. I would almost like antagonize myself in a way. It was weird. I don't do that anymore. I've dealt with a lot of heartbreak. I've experienced a fair amount of it, and I've also caused heartbreak. I've definitely been on both sides of it, and I've caused it as well. Now, with like relationships, I look at them from a different standpoint now in my life now, as what am I needing to learn from this? Like in my last relationship, what am I to take from this relationship that I'm no longer in? And one of the things that I've come up with is that these relationships that have not continued, that ended, are meant for me to become stronger and more prepared for, I like to call it like my last relationship. Like when I'm in this next relationship, I want it to be the last one. This is the one for the rest of my life. That's what I'm working towards. It's not quite worked out yet, but I'm not giving up, and I still have hope that it's one thing about me that I know hope with all the pain I could think about that I've experienced and all the reasons why I should say, what's the point in doing this? What's the point in having and going through all of this heartache and frustration and just roller coaster ride of, and it could be anything. It's just a roller coaster ride, but like, I always want to try again. Like I don't want to give up. I don't see the point in living this life alone, in experiencing this life alone. To me, that's a very sad thought to have. And I know I have this sense of urgency these days with wanting to hurry it up and meet this person and be like, all right, let's do this. Let's do life, let's have some fun. Let's have an adventure, and I felt this urgency, and that's probably part of the reason maybe I'm making poor choices out of that. I don't know, but I do feel every relationship is meant for us to take something with that and learn and grow from it. And not just our close intimate relationships, but almost virtually like anyone you meet. But yeah, definitely, especially like the intimate ones, the ones where you're wide open and honest and vulnerable and transparent, and you feel very connected with this individual, and you feel a deep sense of friendship. You feel a deep sense of knowing and just immersed. And those can be the most painful ones to experience heartbreak with, because you feel so locked in with them. Like two puzzle pieces that fit together. And part of your identity goes into that. You know, experiencing life with this human and it feeling so magical and just it's hard to put words to. And when all of a sudden it's like boom, it's over, it's done, it's where'd they go? And you just have that immense sense of grief with the loss of the connection, the loss of the friendship, the loss of having a conversation with them, the loss of, I mean, you name it. Name it for yourself. What are all those things? What are all those things specific to what the two of you had together? Things that you shared that you felt very complimentary. It's just this sense of awe and wonder when it's, I mean, and not just when things are good, but also when things are rough. I'm not going to back down on my feeling of meeting this woman, of having that relationship. And I believe that I'm realizing that all of my hardest, most difficult heartbreaks, relationships are meant for me to expand and to wake up to things that I'm probably missing. Things that I need to wake up to. I'm still learning. And that's great. It keeps preparing me for me becoming the kind of person that I want to be with the relationship that I desire. It's scary letting go of people. And that's going back to what I was saying before about sometimes the things we fear the most are the things we need to do the most, and maybe letting that go, even though there's a lot of fear around that, that's what has to happen. It's getting dark. I'm going to keep expanding on this topic and this subject as it arises because it's so prominent in being a human in this world and this day and age. Relationships and heartbreak are pretty much like subject number one, topic number one. Have a good night.